Cry the Beloved Country is a novel by Alan Paton and probably is one of my favorite books of all time. I believe that when Paton wrote this, he was describing South Africa during apartheid. And when you read his novel, you can't help but almost weep in the disparity of what is occurring, and be extremely connected to the old man who is a priest as he looks at his country and his tribes just dissolving. So here's a selection that a student has annotated, and I just have some things that I wanted to point out to you. The use of "and" in Alan Paton's writing is what we call polysyndeton syntax. It's a repetitive use of "and" for emphasis, and if you look at the description of polysyndeton creates a message of emphasis. It sounds very prophetic, biblical, like a spiritual message, and I believe that Alan Paton's writing really incorporates that, especially because it's told from the priest's perspective. The message is included in these phrasings that you can see above. It's religious, it's symbolic, it's impactful. You can see in his writing that this place is sad, it's missing its youth, young men and young women. When you see that, you should be asking why. And the priest himself relishes the small children that are playing despite all of the sadness. He sees the children dropping from the mist as if they're illusions or angelic beings falling from heaven into this dark and wasteful and hot and desolate description of place. His connotative diction, you can clearly see the mood is quite sad. The words he chooses: waste and desolate, pitiless sun, cease to run, thin and listless, red and rootless, gone, old, worn, silent, muse. The mood is desperate as he switches to the connotation, the word choice clutched suddenly at the small boy. And so there's just a shift there as well. He uses repetition and parallel structure, and he uses epistrophe, which is the repetition of words at the end of a phrase. Silent muse or silent musing or contemplated them in quiet. Those are all basically the same word endings, a slight difference in word choice, which makes a parallelism. But the silent muse and silent musing is definitely epistrophe. He uses adjective phrases, something we sometimes call epithets. You'll remember that from Homer in the Odyssey and the Iliad. Adjective phrases that are epithets are descriptive. They use an adjective and a noun repeatedly. These also are starting to provide alliteration and consonance within the piece. And that cadent quality, the sound is listless. There's a soft lingering of despair, even in the word choice that he uses. His sudden use of harsh sounds actually breaks the monotony and kind of shocks you into this change of feeling that he is describing. In the second selection of Paton, he begins, "And this is Shantytown, my friend. Even here the children laugh in the narrow lanes that run between these tragic habitations. A sheet of iron, a few planks, hessian and grass, an old door from some forgotten house. Smoke curls from vents cunningly contrived. There is a smell of food. There is a sound of voices not raised in anger or pain, but talking of ordinary things, of this one that is born and that one that has died, of this one that does so well at school and that one who is now in prison. There is drought over the land, and the sun shines warmly down from the cloudless sky. But what will they do when it rains? What will they do when it's winter?" That first paragraph is just an endless list of fairly, really disturbing things that are happening in this very, very poor town. It's a shanty town, and if you know anything about South African apartheid, this is also a really great illusion. It's a truly dismal and disheartening scene of poverty and despair. The connotative diction in consonants and alliteration, the word choice is not only for the color and the detail and the description, but it's also for the harsh and repetitive, striking sounds. He uses that freight train syntax at the beginning of this paragraph There are no coordinating conjunctions. It's just a continuing, relentless list of things that are lived or really even unlivable, and how people just simply, they just do. The ascendanton syntax. Ascendanton is the absence of coordinating conjunctions. It's the opposition or the opposite of polysyndanton. So ascendanton has no coordinating conjunctions, and it changes the tone into, you're like a distant observer, because who would want to be part of this scene? There are multiple uses of tricolon syntax, the groupings of 3 for emphasis. He uses them repeatedly: a sheet of iron, a few planks, an old door, hedges, fields, beauties, sadness, fear, hate, cry, cry, cry. He uses anaphora and he uses epistrophe, but especially anaphora, as he repeats, but what will they do? What will they do? Of this one, of that one, of this one, of that one. And again, the message is pretty overall despondent, because this is such a place of despair. How do people survive? They simply just live. It's a country in decline. Tribes are gone. Men are dead, and the women and children grieve. But it's not just in the homes or this town. It's in the skies. It's just in the drought. The messenger of doom. And the rhetorical devices that he uses obviously impact this mood intensely. It's a country reeling of intolerance, and the resulting details here are quite devastating. And you would talk about each one of these pieces of rhetorical devices that he's used to analyze the scene and the meaning behind each choice.